America for mismanaging our energy and economy.
President Bush is challenging Americans to do something about OPEC's decision. Listen in.
America's got to change its habits. We got to get off oil. And the reason why is, first, dependency on oil presents a real challenge to our economy.
And he's been saying that for quite some time, but as OPEC thumbs its nose at America, is the cartel digging its own grave?
Let's toss that question to our Fox panel. David, what do you think of what the president is saying compared to what OPEC has done?
Well, I think the president's right that we need to get away from the oil industry, the OPEC in particular, and prices at these levels do sow the seeds for OPEC's own kind of destruction. At this price level, tar sands are very attractive. Alternative energy gets very attractive. You leave it at this level long enough, people will invest the money required that could obviate the importance of OPEC as a cartel. So I think OPEC's making a big mistake. They should be trying to drive prices down right here rather than trying to keep them up above $100.
Joran, go ahead. Why?
Well, I think we give too much credit to OPEC. I think the real problem here is the dollar, is the value of the dollar. That's what's driving up much of this, and the political uncertainty that's out there with Chavez and so on. But cartels cheat. They always do. If we just left it up to OPEC, prices would drop in real terms. What the U.S. government should be focused on is not reducing consumption in the U.S., but strengthening the dollar.
Quentin, it is absolutely true that the history of keeping deals among OPEC is very poor. They make one announcement and the next day they violate it. So should we just wait for that to happen?
Oh, God, every time the price goes up, people treat OPEC like it's some kind of secret, powerful organization. You know, if these guys are so smart, could you please explain the success of countries like Iran, Nigeria, and Indonesia who are in OPEC? Look, they can't get anything together. I would rather personally be, I don't know, Ghana, Israel, the United States, Singapore, net oil importers who do something. OPEC cannot get it together. It is about the dollar being weak. It is basically, on our side, Bush is right. We haven't managed this well. Big gas-guzzling SUVs based on cheap oil were a bad idea.
Yeah, Peter, I mean, okay, so maybe we haven't managed it right, but we've certainly in the past year or two tried to turn things around, and it will eventually bite OPEC.
I don't think so. We're calling on OPEC to raise output because we claim oil prices are rising. They're not rising at all in real terms. OPEC is getting the same ounces of gold for a barrel of oil today that they got 8 years ago. All that's happening is paper currencies are losing value. And for us to debase our money and then expect OPEC to give us the same amount of oil for a depreciated currency is lunacy.
But Quentin makes a great point that I want to get back to, which is that, yes, they have a lot of cash because they happen to be floating on oil. They're lucky. So are the Rockefellers, but they don't create anything new the way we do. We create new businesses. They don't. All they do is live off of our creativity.
Well, exactly, and their entire economy, is very one-dimensional, of course. It's based on oil. But look, OPEC also is responding to basic conditions. That when you talk about OPEC, and Quentin alluded to this, you have to really only talk about the Saudis. They are the price setters. They're setting prices where they want. Customers are lifting those prices, and then they adjust output accordingly. It's exactly what the Fed does with interest rates. They say, here's the Fed funds rate. Then they adjust reserves in the banking system to keep the rate there. The Saudis are the price-setting mechanism. They're seeing their prices hit, in the open market, which means there's real demand out there, and they're not going to cut when that's happening.
All right. We will come back to this many times.